Making your case. Amplify your English arguments with examples. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our English learning series. Today, we're going to dive into an exciting part of conversational English, using examples to support your arguments. When we have a point to make, examples can be the building blocks that make our arguments stronger and more convincing. They are also incredibly useful for making our ideas clearer and easier to understand. So, let's get started. When you're having a discussion or argument in English, using examples can be extremely beneficial. Examples give life to your arguments. They transform abstract ideas into concrete instances that people can visualize and relate to. When you provide examples, it helps your listener to understand your point of view better because they can see what you're trying to convey. For instance, if you're trying to explain the concept of global warming, it's much more impactful to give an example such as, for example, the polar ice caps are melting at an alarming rate. This gives a real-life instance that depicts the seriousness of global warming. Now that we know why examples are important, let's move on to how to use them effectively. 1. Be specific. Avoid using vague or generic examples. The more specific your example, the better your listener can understand your point. 2. Keep it relevant. Your example should directly support the argument you're making. An unrelated example might confuse your listener rather than clarify your point. 3. Use transitional phrases. Phrases like, for instance, for example, such as, and, imagine, can help you introduce your example smoothly. For instance, if you're arguing that reading enhances vocabulary, you might say, for example, when you read Harry Potter, you encounter a variety of words, like wand, broomstick, muggle, that you may not come across in everyday conversations. Practice is key to mastering the art of using examples. Start by identifying arguments or points you frequently make and think about what examples you could use to support these arguments. You can even practice explaining these examples out loud or write them down to see how they sound. Remember, it's not just about using examples, but also about making sure they're clear, relevant, and detailed enough to really support your point. That wraps up our discussion on using examples to support your arguments. We hope that this video helps you make your arguments more compelling and your conversations more engaging. Remember, examples are not just stories or instances. They are powerful tools that can make your English communication clearer and more convincing. Happy practicing, and we'll see you in our next video.